Hello students, today we are going to study another Victorian poet, Robert Browning. He wrote the famous poem My Last Duchess. Here is the image of the writer. He was born on 7th May 1812. He passed away on 12th December 1889. He wrote many poems. The famous poem My Last Duchess appeared in 1842. Men and Women came into 1855. The Ring and the Book appeared in 1868. Porphyria's Lover appeared in 1836. In his works, we find that he believes in God, he believes in the rebirth, he believes in the immortality of the soul. He was a Victorian poet. At the same time, he was a contemporary writer of Tennyson. In his poetry, we see there are certain Victorian values. He also represents the qualities of the Renaissance period. He moved from the subjective poetry of the Romantic poets, and he wrote about the Renaissance values. The poem My Last Duchess is a dramatic monologue. Now the question arises, what is a dramatic monologue? In the dramatic monologue, there is a single speaker. At the same time, there is a silent listener. The speaker speaks. The inner psychology of the speaker is reflected, and the listener listens. He does not pass the comments. As and when the speaker speaks, we come to know about the intentions of the speaker. In this poem, My Last Duchess, here the speaker is the Italian Duke of the Renaissance period. It is a story of possessiveness and the consequent murder. In this poem, both the character of the Duke and Duchess are contrasted. The listener is the messenger who has come with the marriage proposal. In the character of Duke, we see that there is an aristocratic pride. Material greed for the speaker is presented. Now see here the image painted on the wall, in what manner the poem begins. My last Duchess, the poem, it is the text of the poem. I read the poem, the first 5 lines. That is my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder now. Parapendel's hands work vigil day. There she stands. Will it please you sit and look at her? I said. Here the speaker is the Duke. He points out a painting that was painted on the wall. That was the portrait of his former wife. And that painting was painted by Parapendelov. Parapendelov was a great painter. And the Duke says that the Parapendelov was busy for its day. He completed that picture in a day. And due to the busyness of a single day, that their assistance means the portrait of the Duchess was completed. We can see in what manner Duke was doubtful about the nature of the Duchess. He permitted only a single day to complete the picture of the Duchess, work vigil day, and the result was the painting, the portrait of his former wife that was painted on the wall. Now there is a messenger. The messenger has come with the marriage proposal and invites that messenger to see and to sit and look at her in what manner the painting was looking. Parapendelov by design for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance. The depth and the passion of its earnest gallants, but to myself they turn, since the none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I. So in what manner do you think that even the portrait of his former wife is just like his property? He does not allow to see that painting to another person, and says that there is a pictured countenance. Perhaps the painter, Parapendelov, might never have noticed the facial expression on her face, the depth and passion of the earnest gallants, in what manner there was depth and passion in her eyes. Duke praises that he noticed that depth and passion in the eyes of his Duchess. And he says that he has drawn the curtain, that the painting was covered by a curtain. And he said that he has withdrawn that curtain only for the sake of that messenger who has come with the marriage proposal. And seem as they would ask me at the dust, how such a gallants came there, so not the first are you to turn and ask this, sir. It was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek, perhaps. See in what manner the Duke praises the painting, the portrait, and says that the messenger was not the only person who is asking about the gallants in her eyes, about the facial expression that is painted on the wall. There are so many persons who have asked about the facial expression of that painting. He said, sir, that facial expression was not due to the presence of her husband. There are so many reasons of that countenance, of that facial expression on her face. There is a spot of joy on her cheeks, sir. It is due to some other reasons also. The Duke guesses what may be the other reasons of her joy on this spot. The Duke guesses, Parapendlum chanced to say, her mental lapse up over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must have never hoped to reproduce the faint half plus that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling that a spot of joy. So in what manner the Duke praises the facial expression of his wife. That perhaps the painter Parapendlum might have commented that the mantle of the lady was overlapping his wife's wrist. And on hearing this comment, she might have blushed, she might have smiled. That is why there is spell joy on her cheek. Or paint must never hope to reproduce this faint half flush that dies along her throat. Perhaps the painter might have commented that he would never have produced that flush that passes along her throat. On hearing this remark, she might have smiled. That's why there is a special spot of joy on her cheek. Sir, it was a matter of courtesy. It was a matter of courtesy from her side, she thought. She used to think that to smile is just a courtesy. And cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, to soon made glad. See in what manner the Duke is blaming his wife, but actually it is the quality of the Duchess. And the Duke says, a heart, how shall I, to soon made glad, to easily impress, she liked whatever she looked on. Her looks went everywhere, sir. It was all one my favor at her breast. The dropping of the daylight in the west, see in what manner the Duke says about the nature of his wife. Sir, it was in her nature that she might be made easily happy, that she might be easily impressed. Sir, she liked whatever she looked on. It was in her nature to smile, to pass a smile. And her looks went everywhere. She was not limited to one thing or another thing. She used to smile everywhere. Sir, it was all one by favor at the breast. Sir, okay, he has favor on her, but she used to smile to all without any difference, without any discrimination. The dropping of the daylight in the west, the boughs of cherry, some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with round the terrace, all and each would have drawn from like the approving speech. So in what manner? The Duke blames his wife, but actually that was the quality of the Duchess, and says that if some servant happens to give a branch of cherries to her at the time of the evening, at the time when she used to ride on the white horse, she used to give the same speech, the approving speech, or she used to smile. At least the thank man, good, but thank. See that here appears the arrogant behavior of the Duke. See, thank man. Even a servant offers a branch of flower. It was in her nature to smile, to blush, to pass approving speech. She thanked man good, but thanked somehow I did not know how, as if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift. That was the pain in the mind of the Duke. Sir, she used to give thanks to all, but the Duke is proud and says, the Duke is arrogant and says that she ranked the gift of the Duke of 900 years old family name with the gift of a servant. She equals the gift of a servant to the gift of Duke who has the family background of 900-year-old family name. See, there is a contrast. What type of contrast there? The Duke wants to say either the servant used to offer a flower or he himself used to offer a flower. She used to do the same thanks to the servant and thanks to the husband whose family background of 900 years old years. That was the arrogant nature, that was the proud nature of the Duke. The soft of tipping, even had you skill in speech, which I have not to make your will. In what manner the Duke pursued the messenger, sir, that he does not know the art of speaking, though he knows, but he said, to make your will. Quite clear to such an one, they say that this or in that you discussed me, here you miss or there actually the man, mark, absolutely let herself lesson so, nor plainly set her wish to your forsooth made excuse. See what when the Duke says, talks about his proud nature. So never prefers to correct her. He never opened his mouth to her that he does not like this thing to in her behavior. That he never said to the Duchess that she missed that thing or that other thing. He never passed the comments. Rather he says that she might have taken the lesson herself. Not plainly yet her wish to your forsooth and make excuse. Sir, I never thought of asking for excuse or this excuse that she might ask for excuse. He never preferred this type of behavior with the Duchess. The Duke never preferred to correct her, and he said that she might have asked the excuse. That's why he never preferred this type of behavior from the side of the Duchess. Even then would be some stooping. He said, even in this behavior that she's asking for excuse and he's saying something that there is some type of stooping, means there is some type of surrender. He does not like surrender to the Duchess. That's why I choose never to stoop. It is the proud nature, it is the haughty nature of the Duke, and says, sir, it was kind of surrendered even to correct her. Sir, even a type of surrender to accept her excuses. That's why he says that he never followed the process of stooping. He never followed the process of surrender. Sir, it does not mean that she does not pass the smile to him. Sure, she smiled no doubt whenever I passed her. But who passed without much the same smile? There is a pain in the mind of the Duke that whenever she passed from her side, she used to smile no doubt. But the Duke raises the question that who passed without much the same smile, means she used to pass the same smile to every person, whosoever passed by her. This grew. This nature of the Duchess increased day by day. Her smiling speech, his smiling approval passed to everyone. The Duke passed the comment. The Duke passed the order. What was the order? I gave commands. Then all the smiles stopped together. But all the smiles of the ladies should stop at once when she gave the order to murder the Duchess. He could not bear the approving speech of the Duchess. He could not bear the smiling face of that lady. There she stands as if alive. Now he praises the painting and says that it is the portrait of his former wife. Says in the painting it appears that she is alive. See in what manner the Duke gets the murder of the lady, but at the same time he praises the painting. He failed to praise the living wife, but he praises the painting of the former wife. Now, will it not please you rise? I invite the messenger to come down and says, we will meet the company below. Perhaps there was party downstairs, and invites the messenger to visit that party, to attend that party. Then I repeat, that counts your master's non-munificence. Now here the greed, material greed of the Duke appears. The Duke was a very greedy person of money. He said that he speaks to the messenger that the master is known for munificence, known for prosperity. And he says, is ample warrant that no just pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed. So in what manner the Duke demands dowry? That his master is known for prosperity, his master is known for richness, and he would not disallow dowry. He would accept dowry, though his fair daughter shall. He said that whatever he would offer for his daughter's self, not for him. That's why he says they would not disallow dowry, would accept dowry. It shows the character of Duke, that he was a greedy person. As I already starting, is my objective that he has taken promise earlier that he will not take this money or that money, but in what money demands dowry. We will go together down. As they were going downward the stairs, the messenger was with him. As they were coming down, sir, notice Neptune. The Duke invited the messenger to see another painting of Neptune, the sea god. Though taming a horse, what was the situation of that painting? That there was a sea god, he was sitting on a horse and he was taming a sea horse, he was controlling the sea horse. He wants to indicate, the Duke wants to say to the messenger, wants to give a message that he would control his new wife in the same manner as the sea god is controlling the sea horse. And he praises the painting, that it is a rare picture, thought a rarity. It is a kind of a special kind of painting, which class of Innsbruck cost in bronze for me, that this painter, the class of Innsbruck, casted that painting, casted that statue in the bronze for the sake of the Duke. In what manner Duke demands dowry? He gives hint in what manner he would control the coming wife, as the sea god controls the sea horse in the same manner. The Duke wants to control his coming wife, his new wife. Now, one thing is clear: the Duke is the lover of art. In the first, we see that there is a painting of his former wife. There is a portrait of his former wife painted on the wall. Now, downstairs there is a painting of the sea god Neptune that was casted in bronze. The poem is loosely based on the historical events involving Alfonso, the Duke of Ferrara, who lived in the 16th century. The Duke is the speaker of the poem and tells that he is entertaining a messenger who has come to negotiate the Duke's marriage. As he shows the visitors through his palace, he stops before the portrait of the late Duchess, apparently a young, lovely girl. The Duke described the portrait then about the Duchess herself. He claimed that she flirted with everyone, did not appreciate his gift of a 900 years old name. That was the arrogant nature of the Duke. As his monologue continues, the reader realizes with ever more chilling certainty that the Duke in fact caused the Duchess' early demise. When her behavior continued, I quote, he gave commands, and all his smiles stuck together, unquote. Having made this disclosure, the Duke returns to the business at hand. The proposal of marriage is with him, the messenger is with him, and the Duke and the messenger leave the painting behind. The Duke points out the other notable artwork, the painting of Neptune that is in the collection. Now there are certain themes of the poem. First we will discuss the theme of the poem, the arrogance, the theme of arrogance. The theme of the arrogance is significant in my last chase. The speaker, a Duke whose wife is deceased, does not present himself as a sorrowful person. Rather, he is not sorrowful over the death of his wife, but he praises the painting, the portrait of his dead wife. He reveals throughout the monologue he is conceited, that he is proud. The reader will do well to recall also the poem in theory about the teacher lost the chase. This is a dramatic monologue. Therefore, the poem is about the Duke. What he reveals as he speaks about the Duchess is more significant than what you would have the listener believe about her. There is a speaker, another is a listener. From the onset of the poem, the Duke's sense of self-importance is evident, is clear. He says that he is the person who unveils the painting. He begins by pointing out the late painting of the late Duchess. He stands with the servant of the count whose daughter was selected to become the next Duchess. The Duke emphasizes in the painting is a truth. Since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I. That is, the I is very important. That reflects his nature, that he was a man of arrogant nature. The Duke alone controlled the access to the Duchess now. No one can look upon her portrait without his consent. See, no one is allowed to see that painting, that portrait of his former wife. He is the only person who allows the other person to see that painting, see that portrait. According to the Duke, when the Duchess was alive, she smiled and found joy easily. I quote, she thanked man good, but ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift, unquote. That is the proud nature of the Duke. The Duke's arrogance also is conveyed in his revelation. He did not tell his wife what he pursued his sidelights. Even that would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop, unquote. See, he never preferred to surrender. Even to make her correction, he was not happy to make her correct to this thing or that thing. Even making her understand, it was a type of surrender, never to stoop. It was beneath him to tell her where she had faltered in her estimation. It was a kind of surrender. Now, another theme of the poem is the power. The Duke possesses great power because of his 900 years old name, his wealth, or his social status. His family name is old, and his estimation should garner respect. The failure of his late wife to provide him with the respect he deserved resulted in her looking as if she were alive. Means she got her murdered. Duke tells the listener, I give commands, see, I quote, I give commands, then all smile is stuck together. It is a tragedy of 6 words. Then all smiles stuck together. Her smiles were stopped. She was butchered, she was murdered. He has the power to commit murder, and there is no punishment. The power to avoid punishment for his action. In fact, the listener is a servant of the count with whom the Duke is negotiating to marry the next Duchess. The count and his daughter are being informed to the Duke's expectations. What does he want? Dowry, control. The last Duchess is deceased. She displeased him by failing to give him the respect he believed he was due, so he gave commands. The visit with the count's servant served as an opportunity to warn the future wife about what is expected from her. See, in what manner Robert Browning has portrayed the picture, the character of the Duke, the Italian Duke. Both the characters are contrasted, the character of the Duke and the character of the Duchess. The Duke blames his former wife, but indirectly he praises her that she was a woman of kind nature, that she was a woman of courtesy. She thanked all without any discrimination, and these qualities were not present in the character of the Duke. Thanks.